Our environment is being threatened by two predators, the lack of water and climate change. These two can limit our survival here on Earth. Though this is the case right now, we still have time to change it. With this video, I will go through two predators and ways to prevent them from affecting our present and controlling our future. We start with the most important, which is water. Only 2.5% of all water on this earth is fresh. They can be found in rivers, lakes, and underground. But year after year, we are draining these sources. Some of the threats that are affecting our freshwater supply is climate change, the growth in population, pollution, and increased agriculture. The effects of these four threaten over 1 billion people that lack the access to safe water supplies, while 2.6 billion people lack the adequate sanitation. Without sanitation, it can lead to contamination of drinking water. Lack of sanitary water has cleared up to 3.2 million lives each year, approximately 6% of all global deaths. We can lower these numbers by conserving water. Some of the easiest ways to do so is by first measuring how much water we use. For example, in California, farmers use measurements and monitor systems to control how much water they need to supply their plants. Smart irrigation combined with weather station data, soil probes, and devices that measure the plant's water uptake can help decide when to irrigate and how much water to apply. Just from these devices, California farmers have reduced water use by 20%. The second way we can measure how much water we use is something that I believe we shouldn't need, but we do right now. This is involving our government to control the amount of water we use by enforcing policies and regulations. For example, a governor named Jim Oberstar wanted to expand the Clean Water Act to apply to all U.S. waterways and not just navigational ones. This meant that not only the government will control how much water is to be used on public land, but also control how much water is to be used on private land as well. This was against the Supreme Court's decision in 2001 and 2006. He got a lot of opposition for this, especially by the Western Republicans, saying they would give the federal government a predestined power over water. The last proposition that would be used to conserve water are new ways of producing and storing water through hydroelectric power and cool thermoelectric plants. This is one of the best ways to produce energy and would really help treating urbanization, population growth, and climate change. Even though we are using them today, there are many more improvements that could be discovered and implemented so that we don't have to rely on greenhouse gases and other toxic waste for energy. The second threat to our environment is climate change. Climate change has never been taken seriously in the past because no one understood what it really is. Climate change is the greenhouse effect, which is the warming of the Earth when the atmosphere traps the heat radiating from the Earth towards space. The three main greenhouse gases are water vapor, nitrous oxide, and CO2. Water vapor is the most abundant greenhouse gas because it acts as a feedback to the climate. Water vapor increases as Earth's atmosphere warms. When the atmosphere warms, the water vapor forms clouds, and the water vapor is then released into the clouds when it rains. Nitrous oxide is the most powerful greenhouse gas and is produced by soil conservation practices and used in organic fertilizers. When I was looking at my household cleaners, I found that nitrous oxide was one of the ingredients in most of them. This is just another reason why we need to reduce the use of toxic chemicals for cleaning, instead use more natural-based. Lastly is carbon dioxide, or CO2. Carbon dioxide can be found in respiration, volcano eruptions, human activities such as deforestation and burning fossil fuels. The increase of carbon dioxide is leading force to pushing climate change. When climate change comes, what will happen? For starters, the Earth will become warmer depending on the region. This will lead to more evaporation and precipitation overall, but individual regions will vary, and some becoming wetter, others drier. A stronger greenhouse effect is that it will warm the oceans partially and melt the glaciers, which will increase the sea level. Vegetation will also be affected. It just depends on how much plants will react to the high atmospheric CO2. What are ways to fight climate change from happening? One way is by changing our way of transportation. Driving a car to work every day releases a lot of fossil fuels into the atmosphere. One way we can reduce this is by either riding a bike or taking public transportation to work. This easy task is done regularly, can reduce the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere greatly over time. The second is eliminating food waste. Food in the U.S. is usually wasted in stores and at homes, and it spoils because it is left uneaten. According to NRDC study, Americans throw away 40% of the food they buy. This just fills up our landfills and the toxicity of our atmosphere. The last easy way to fight climate change is by just unplugging and turning off unused energy. I personally forget to do this a lot, leaving my light on or keeping my fan plugged in all day. All this wasted energy can be used for better things other than lighting up or keeping a vacant room cool. These are my sources. Thank you for watching.